You know what always struck me as borderline insanity? That a lot of people go their entire lives never actually believing in themselves. And to me, that's always been something a bit weird for me more in my most recent years because I believe that everything I've been able to accomplish, everything that I'm proud of, stemmed before hard work and everything, stemmed in the fact that I genuinely believed in myself. Whether it be through delusion, faith, God's divine purpose, or anything similar to that, I've always had this sort of, you know what? Maybe I don't know how to do it. Maybe this is scary. Maybe this is bigger than me. Maybe this is something I'm not as prepared as I should be for. But I was like, I've figured it. I've figured difficult things out before and I'll figure this out again. And we always say believe in yourself, right? Like all these influencers, athletes, you're like, oh, what's your number one advice? Yeah, believe in yourself. That's such an easy thing to throw around, right? Just believe in yourself. But it's one of the hardest things to truly live by. The world can't believe in you if you don't believe in yourself first. And no one's coming to do this for you. No one is going to come and install enough hope in your own soul and believe in yourself. We kind of have this rhetoric where it's like, oh, this person loved me so much that I start believing in myself. You're building on external. And let's ask a question that is more of an engineering question. If I were to build a house and I start building a very large balcony externally, it's not going to have a lot of support, especially the bigger it grows, right? Because the bigger it grows, the more it's going to need more support to stand. And the question is, are you always going to rely on people to fuel your confidence? Once you do that, you're putting yourself at a huge risk. And doubt kills a lot of dreams years before failure ever does. And I'm going to go more deeply into the weight of self-doubt. Self-doubt creeps in not through not believing in yourself. It creeps in through tangible actions, comparisons, fear of failure, lack of validation. And me personally, I've had these moments where, especially we're seeing with social media nowadays, it's so difficult to just go on social media and see people because you're always going to see someone your age doing something better. And social media is a highlight reel. So you're always going to see better stuff. I promise you're never going to go on social media and see, hi guys, here's my journey of how I failed at everything in my life. It's never going to happen unless there's a hidden win after it. But the people that actually aren't doing better than you, they're showing a fake facade. And sometimes you'd feel behind in life or career through comparison. And that's the same for me. I was 22 years old when I entered my first consulting big boy job. And I remember I'm still younger than the people that entered this year. So I'm still younger than people that came in 1.5 years after me. And I still feel I was very behind in life. I still felt like I had to do more. I was like, why am I not trading stocks? Why don't I have a 50K a month business? Why am I not doing social media marketing agency? Why am I not a UFC champion? Because you keep seeing these let's say parades of trophies online of people parading their successes, and you're like, whatever I get, it's not enough. And that takes me to the next point. You're always thinking, I'm not enough. What's the difference between you and someone that fought for their dreams to become a champion in the UFC? Do you know what's the difference? They took action. What's the difference between you and someone that finished his career? He took action. What's the difference between you and someone that has a better physique? He took action. Of course, now there's extreme cases where they might have done steroids or cut a few corners short. But we're going to discuss the most usual cases, the normal cases. And you can't build a life if every time you take a step forward, your own mind pulls you back. If your own driver's seat in your own body is playing against you, then how can you expect to win? I'll give you an example. If you're playing GTA 5, and let's say Call of Duty actually. If you're playing Call of Duty and you don't believe in yourself that you have the confidence to go and attack people and shoot them and everything, you're going to finish the game with 1 kill. You're never going to finish the game with the actual utmost of your capabilities. You're not going to fulfill your potential. And people tell me all the time, oh, I had amazing potential. That should be an insult to you. Because potential is nothing. It's untangible. It's just in the wind. I'll give you an example. Let's take two people. One person that has an insane potential and one that doesn't. If the person that doesn't worked and arrived to their goal, amazing. That person with the potential, if he didn't put the work in and took action, he will never arrive there, even if he had more potential, even if he had the tools, the genetics, everything, the physique, the morphology for it all. So my question that I want to push to you is, what does it actually mean to believe in yourself? And I'm going to break it down. It's not arrogance. Be very certain that there's a huge difference between being an arrogant person and being a confident person. It's not pretending you're perfect. It's trusting that you can rise again when you fall, okay? I'll give you an example. I'm not particularly insanely good at anything I do, everything. Like, I'll give you an example, even with the YouTube channel, I still don't know what I'm doing 6-7 episodes later. I still don't know what I'm doing sometimes. Even in the video games that I love a lot, I still make mistakes. I still sometimes not perform to my best. I've picked up jiu-jitsu recently. And yes, sometimes I have amazing days at my workouts and sometimes I have a shit workout. Even at the gym, I still make mistakes. I still hurt myself. But the self-confidence isn't saying I never make mistakes. I'm perfect. I'm the best. No, it's saying, you know what, Mahmoud? We're going to fall. We're going to rise again. I made a mistake. I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to pull up again. I hurt myself yesterday at jiu-jitsu. Okay, I know why I hurt myself. Next time I'm going to pull up. I'm not going to make that same mistake. Confidence is understanding that the external can never, never, never touch the internal. Whatever happens outside is people's opinions, right? It's people's view on you. If you in your own soul know that you deserve it, know that you love yourself to the point that you know you deserve stuff. I'll give you an example. I'm 23 and I'm starting jiu-jitsu now. People will tell you, oh, it's too late. People have been in jiu-jitsu since they're 15. But there's a difference. They might have more training. They might be better than me, of course. However, they don't want it as bad as me. They don't think in their soul that they're destined for this. I have so much self-confidence because, do you know why? I've proved it to myself in all my silent battles. I've proved it to myself time after time. And to anyone hearing this, even if you stood up after such a small thing, even if you fell down in the streets when no one saw you and you still stood back up, respect yourself for it. That's you building proof of confidence. This is where confidence stems for. And once again, believing in yourself means standing in the dark with no light and still taking the next step because you know who you are. You know that no matter what happens, you will know how to deal with it. And I take this in a more Islamic way. If God created you, okay, and He gave you the strength, the breath, a mind, how can you not believe that you're capable if God Himself, the person that, let's say you don't believe in God, the universe or God, if they created you, they put you on a specific path, hunting towards a specific goal, then they know that you're destined to get it. Then there's two options. Either you get it how you want, which is a victory. Either you don't get it how you want, and it was essential for you to learn a very important skill or for you to develop a very important attribute that's going to help you more in your life after. There's no loss. When you're so confident of yourself, there's no loss because you know that everything is either getting it the way you saw it in your mind, visualized it, or repurpose, or you're redirecting yourself to a greater purpose. There's a beautiful quote by the Prophet, peace be upon him, that if you relied on God as He should be relied upon, He would provide for you as He provides for the birds. And I promise you, remember, this is a very important analogy because the birds, they don't sit around. They fly, they hunt, they get their food. And that's what you should do. You should do what you can do and know in your soul that you love yourself so much that you're confident of your capability. You're confident that I put in the work. You're confident that I did what had to be done, and you let the rest be in the hands of God and the universe. And belief isn't loud. It's actually very contradictory because it's built in utmost silence. In the morning when you get tired but still pray. In the morning when you wake up, don't feel like going to work and still go. In the morning where you wake up and you're like, man, I do not want to go to the gym, and you still go. In the afternoon where you're tired, bruised up, all hurt, broken mentally, and you still tell yourself, I have to show up for myself. I have to show up for what I promised myself. I'm going to build this confidence. And confidence stems from each time you kept your word to yourself. Each time you respected yourself enough to keep your word for yourself. This is where your brain starts saying, you know what? I love myself so much that I'm keeping my word even when it's hard. I love myself so much that in my current present moment, I'm willing to be uncomfortable so that Mahmoud in the future has what he wanted. And I'm doing that for him. And when you're in the future and you realize all these sacrifices the past you did, you're going to be like, you know what? I'm extremely confident in my capability. Look at what I did for myself. Look at what I did when it was so easy to give up, right? When you keep showing up, even when results aren't coming, I promise you, this is where you're gonna build so much self-respect and self-love. Real belief isn't in what you say. It's in what you do when no one claps for you. It's so easy for me to stand up and say, yes, gym every day, let's go on the hustle, winter arc. But am I doing it really? Or am I just talking? An important part of self-confidence is also to forgive yourself. Believing in yourself also means forgiving your past self. You can't hate yourself into growth. You can't hate yourself and become something even better. No, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, all these people, they never hated their creation to the point of perfection. They saw flaws, of course, but they understood that it's a process. It's a thing coming to life. Belief starts when you stop seeing yourself as broken and start seeing yourself as becoming. Allah didn't create you to fail. He created you to struggle, grow, and rise. Even in the Quran, with hardship, there is ease. And I promise you, even in the karmic laws of the universe, if you want to take God out of the picture, I promise you, the more you put in, the more you get out. The more you put in into something, the universe has this way of making you lucky when you put in work, actually. The moment you decide to believe in yourself, everything changes. Because suddenly failure becomes feedback, right? Not defeat even. And I promise you, this is so important for you to understand. You're not waiting for permission. You're not waiting for someone to see your worth. God already did the day He created you. The day you created yourself. The day you stood up and said, you know what? I believe in myself. I have confidence in myself. I know I might not have won every battle I faced, but I stood up. I'm still here even after every failure. Actually, contradictory enough, if you're someone that failed a lot, I respect you even more than the people that won. Because it's so easy to keep going when you're winning, right? When you're going to the gym every time having an insane pump, insane workout, it's so easy to keep going because it's soothing, right? You get a kick out of it. But when you're going, even when the workouts are bad, even when you don't have energy, even when you can't seem to get out of bed, this is where I respect this person even more than the person that won. Because it's so easy to say, I love the grind when the grind is easy. Are you going to stay there when the grind is hard? Are you going to stay there when everything is going bad? Are you going to stay there where you have a 12-hour shift at work, where you have projects overdue, where you have people counting on you, and you're still going to show up without food to a jiu-jitsu practice? Are you going to do that? If you say yes, then you have it in you. Then you have already that confidence in yourself. And I promise you, sooner or later, it translated into great success. I'm telling you once again, the point of this channel is pick yourself back up with love. Never tell yourself, oh, I hate myself so much, I need to change. No, I love myself so much, I get to change. I love myself so much that I deserve to change. I'm going to be talking in my next video about the importance of the missing puzzle. To become successful, you need one thing that is so important, faith. And I'm going to be discussing that in my next video and how it interlinks with self-belief and forgiving yourself and being the man that you needed. Thank you for tagging along and hope to see you on the next one.